A Japanese form of art has recently made its way to the Attleboro Public Library. The library recently invited Teddi Scobi of New England Bonsai Gardens to give a presentation on the art of bonsai gardening. Bonsai gardening is a Japanese art where miniature trees are grown and shaped over time by the artist into different forms. The library held this event as it continues to celebrate this year's Big Read. To learn more about the event, we spoke with presenter Teddi Scobi.
My name's Teddi Scobi. I'm co-owner of New England Bonsai Gardens, and I started out working in a bonsai store where I met, this was almost 30 years ago, where I met my now husband, who is Japanese, and he was starting his own bonsai business. I've always loved gardening and growing plants, and from a really early age, and it combines art and horticulture, which to me is really, really interesting. They're a very beautiful microcosm of nature. Bonsai, it means something growing green, alive in a shallow container. That's the literal translation. But you get people who are going to say, that's not bonsai, or that isn't, because it doesn't have, there's something like this, like a tree like this with tiny needles and a single trunk, and it's been wired and it's been pruned and shaped and it's in a bonsai pot. Or you might have a little kind of something that it really, bonsai refers to the object, the thing, the tree in the pot, and it also refers to the technique. So if you're talking about the high art of bonsai, you're talking more about something like this tree here as opposed to something that's a little piece, a little piece of grass in a pot. This is clearly an sort of aged specimen tree.
Do you know how old this art form is?
A few thousand years old, 2-ish thousand years old. It's, really the main tradition came from China, as a lot of things that the Japanese have adopted.
And what are some of the important things people should know about bonsai?
The mantra is never bone dry, right? So watering is so important. Find the right tree for the right spot. Don't try and grow a juniper like this indoors year-round. Put it outside for the summer. If you can't, and you have to have it inside, get a tropical tree. And so the right tree for the right spot and water properly. If you do those things, you're at least keeping it alive, and then you can do the other stuff. You kind of lose yourself, you get very absorbed. It's very satisfying to kind of forget the rest of the stuff that it's always kind of, our busy minds never stop. I think with bonsai you get to stop for a few minutes and you let that stuff go, and you're just taking care of the tree. It's like, grooming, being with your animals, it's very, warms your heart and helps you to think less. You can always learn something from other cultures, and the fact that curiosity, I think, is the fact that you're looking at different cultures, you're reading something about them, or you're looking at plants and trees in a different way. It's the same kind of thing. It gets us out of ourselves a little bit, and it's good for the world. We're in Bellingham, Mass, on Route 126. We're south of Hopkinton on 495, and we do workshops. We sponsor the Kaiku School of Bonsai, which is a 2-year program for students to intense study and practice of bonsai. We have special events. We bring visiting teachers from Japan, etc. So we're always going, except in January when we're closed. I would encourage people to try bonsai. It's very relaxing, and it's a responsibility, but it's very rewarding.